Microphone on. This is why I always do this test before I get going. So this way here, I can make sure that I have everything up and running before anybody really shows up. And, that's part of one of my pet peeves is I like to make sure everything's running smooth. I don't like to be late. I can almost imagine doing this completely blindsided, having, 30 or 40, 50 people waiting for my stream to show up, and then I'm late. I can't stand that. And then have kind of technical issues like this. That would drive me absolutely up the wall. I would just like lose my cool. That's why I like to start a few minutes ahead, get my testing all taken care of, make sure everything's working properly, make sure that the sound and the video is as good as it's going to get. But let's start this off on the right foot. Ladies, gentlemen, pronouns, lend me your ears. Crazy Kid back for another live stream. And this time here, we're talking about all the funny, quirky things that we call pet peeves. When I was out and about this week getting my ID taken care of, I had to go different places around the town and stuff like that to get all my ID all, renewed, refreshed, and made so that I don't have to deal with it for another 5 years. Somebody on the bus asked me why I don't have any pets. And I just comically answered them, I have pet peeves and they keep me busy enough as it is. The only fortunate part is they don't eat much. So that's what kind of prompted me to want to talk about pet peeves for this live stream. But it's one of those things, like we all have our little nuances that, we just drives us nuts, like some people it's dust, like if there's dust around, they got to clean, it's partly OCD, but also a pet peeve that they don't like to see dust hanging around. And other people, their pet peeves is, could be, cat litter box in the living room and it makes it smell. What's your pet peeves? Mine, being late. Being late just drives me absolutely off the deep end. That's why I always start my live streams a little bit early. So this way here, I know I'm not late. I know I'm ahead of schedule. When I was working in the factories, if I wasn't at work, punched in a half hour early, I felt like I was behind schedule. And it just piled up on me the entire day. And I didn't like it. It just drove me absolutely off the deep end, off the wall. So another one of my pet peeves is when you lend something to somebody and they say, I'll bring it right back. And then you wait and you wait and you wait, you wait, you wait, you wait, you wait for 4 or 5 hours and they still haven't even brought it back. And then you have to go to their place just to get your items back. Like, really? I lent it to you in good faith that you would bring it back. Just, bring it back. So, and when somebody offers to give me a ride someplace and they say, I'll be there between 5 and 5:30, say. So I'll be downstairs, 15 minutes, 20 minutes early for them to pick me up. So this way here, they don't have to wait on me. And then there's been cases where I've been standing downstairs from quarter to or 15 minutes before the time they said they picked me up to like 2 hours afterwards and be like, really? You said you'd come and pick me up at a certain, between a certain time frame and you can't even be on time? I wish I had hair so I could pull it out, So, but, those are some of the things that drive me absolutely off the wall. That people who lie about other people to make themselves feel good, that doesn't do good with me at all. If you got to lie to somebody about somebody else to bring them down to make yourself feel good, really, your life really isn't all that great if you got to do that, So Just be honest with people. Be honest with people. If your life is not as good as somebody else's, I'd like to be like them. I should learn something from them so that I could be a little more like them. I always found that learning from people who have had success helped me gain an understanding on the process and how success feels. So, you know, you can use your pet peeves sort of against your pet peeves to learn to make yourself better. Um, but the way that they got this new system in the city I live in for getting your photo ID, your Ontario health and information or insurance plan or OHIP card refreshed or any of the other ID or um, registration with the government. The way they got it set up now, it is awesome. You go to this little electronic kiosk and you tell them you punch in whether or not you have an appointment and then what branch you're looking for, and then a ticket spits out. And then when they call your number, they already know what forms to look for, what websites to go to. They already have that that figured out just by the number on your ticket. So I think the way they got it now is much faster, much easier. And the lady that helped me out with my ID, bless her heart, she was a fairly new employee to the system, and she was going through things that I don't think she was really heavily trained on because it's not that common what I have to go through to get my ID done. But bless her heart, I just kept that in mind. I held my patience. Normally, stuff like that would drive me up the wall, and people don't know their job. But I just kept that in mind that she was fairly new to the job, and we had ourselves a really fun and pleasant interaction. She took care of everything with the highest professionalism, and like I thanked her at the end of it all and said, I'm so glad I had you as a person to help me get through this because otherwise I probably would have been frustrated and wanted to pull the roots of my hair out, even though I don't have any. It's pretty hard to grab onto. But between the two of us, we had such a great time dealing with this kind of stuff. Even though I had to literally go all over the city just to do this, do this, do this, do this. All the hoops I got to jump through to get my ID done because of my condition. It was just, you know, most people would have just, said, screw it. I'm just not going to bother with it anymore. But here in Canada, if a police officer asks you for identification, you better present some because they have the right to know who you are, who they're dealing with, just as much as you have a right to, not be prosecuted for something that you didn't do. But yeah, there's other things that just the things that irk people the most. Like just the little nuances. I've heard some people say that one of their pet peeves is um, the spell check doesn't accept the Canadian spelling for certain words, like color, favorite, and other words like that. And they're like, is it word? Like this is not how I spell it. Um, and your device asks you for your location. It should be able to, I can see their point. It should be able to decipher how things are spelled in the location you're at because it has GPS picking out where you're at and how things, how things are supposed to be written. Like if you were in China, you would see the Chinese uh, characters for whatever you're spelling. If you were in Mexico, you would spell stuff out, and if you didn't spell it right, it would tell you that you spelled it wrong in Mexican. So, or in Spanish, sorry. So, I can see how some people would get a little irked about stuff like that. Um, I know some people get irked with long lineups, and depending on where the lineups are, I can really see it. Like McDonald's, like if there's a long lineup and the person at the front of the lineup doesn't know what they want, like, hello, have you ever been here before? Have you ever been to a McDonald's before? You should know what they have. If you've seen the McDonald's commercial before, that should tell you what they got: hamburgers, French fries, milkshakes. Pick one, buy it, and get out of the line. Or going to Kentucky Fried Chicken. What am I going to have today? How about chicken? you know, get some chicken and get out of line. Let the rest of us through. Um, another thing that bugs people is in the drive-through. Okay, the drive-through windows at a Tim Hortons. People who order like food that has to be prepared special to that order. Oh, Kieran, fake accents are your pet peeve. If you are from Dublin and you do not have a Southern California accent, I guess they picked it up from the sitcoms. Yep, that's right. Like I can understand if if it's an actor portraying a part of a person from another country that they're not from. Yeah, I can get that. But on the regular day to day, just on street, no, I'm sorry. Use your own accent. Like tell me in your own words, not somebody from another country's other words. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I never even thought of that until you mentioned it. But or like if you're telling a joke, that then yeah, to add the context of the joke, I could see putting in a bit of an accent, but that's just a fleeting moment thing. But if you're doing it to make somebody think that you're from another place, obviously your life in your own place is not that greatest. But yeah, I don't like being late. I don't like lending things to people and then not having them return it. Like when I borrow something from somebody, I try to return it as soon as I'm done with it. Like as soon as I'm done with it, I clean it up or whatever like that. If I have to clean it up, and then I bring it right back as soon as I can. Like my dad, he lent me some tools to deal with some stuff over at my cousin's place, and I needed them for a few weeks. And he knew that, but when I was done with them, I brought them back. Oh, geez, I can almost imagine. Like, are they doing like Duck Dynasty impersonations or y'all? I can almost imagine the Irish accent with a y'all behind it. I think that'd be kind of funny. Like, okay, I don't know what area you're from. But yeah, when somebody asked me on the bus if I had any pets, I was like, no, I got pet peeves. They keep me busy enough, and the good thing about it is they don't eat much. So, but one thing that really it doesn't drive me absolutely nuts, but it actually makes me laugh is when somebody's trying to be funny with me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it, whatever. And then I say that, I return a joke back to them, and they sit there with the deer in the headlights look in their face, and then all of a sudden it comes back and it hits them that it was funny 30 minutes later. that I'm like, dude, you didn't get that for that long? Wow. Man, you really need to brush up on your pay attention skills. More like, oh no, oh no. You mean the Valley Girl accent? Oh God, I can almost imagine that in Ireland. Oh, like, good for you, you know. I think that accent is just a pet peeve on its own. Oh yeah, when I didn't watch the 90210 mainly for the fact of, it's right down there in the valley, and I'm like, no, I am not watching something where people are going to be talking like, oh, that girl, oh, you go girl, and all that other stuff. No, 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 hell no. Yeah, I never did like the Valley Girl, Valley accent. It just, it's like sounding too important for your own status level. And people who fake their status level by how they talk, you know, like seriously. But then again, some people believe that if you can't fake it, you got to fake it till you make it. So, and that's not something I'd want to fake. You know, I don't want to fake no status level. I don't want people thinking that I'm better than I am. I don't even want people thinking that I'm as good as I am. But uh, what's another? If anybody's got any pet peeves that drives them nuts, chime it in the comment section. Let's keep this conversation kind of fun and light, and have some fun making fun of our pet peeves. Um, oh, another thing that used to drive me nuts is I go over to somebody's place and their kids would be running around like they're like 1 and 2 year olds would be running around naked. It's like, don't you have jobs? Don't you have enough money to put clothes on these kids' backs? Quit having them if you can't afford to put clothes on their backs. Oh, like, geez. Last thing I need when I'm visiting somebody else's place is to have their 2 year old naked daughter sitting on my, trying to climb up on my lap, wet. No thanks. Go put some clothes on, and then come to present yourself as a reasonable person. Uh, but yeah, another one of my pet peeves is big companies taking advantage of the little guy. Like recently, I don't know if anybody else has watched the Professor of Rock channel lately, but recently he almost quit. He was like almost at a point where he was ready to give it all up until he posted a video, like a live stream video, explaining what was going on and how hard it is to deal with these big companies that want to silence everybody else's right to free speech, like, excuse me, and to try and limit the amount of fair use for promoting other people's content. And it got me to thinking, when I watched this video there about that he's got a point. Like, it's these big companies that are, they're already making the big bucks, and they don't want to share it with anybody else, even though channels like the Professor of Rock and all the other channels out there that actually promote the music that they produce, they don't realize how much those channels and our channels are helping bring back the life of those, loved classics. Hello, sunflowers. How are you doing? Like, that's one thing I love about doing the reactions or commentary on songs is the fact that in a small way, I'm reminding people about how good the music was back in the day. And how it progressed, and the different genres that are available, and how good some of this other music that you may not have seen or heard of can impact your life. How are you doing? Oh, you're doing good. Good. Yeah. But like there's been songs from different genres that have touched my life in positive ways and helped me feel when I really felt like I couldn't feel. Kind of sounds like a conundrum, but really at points in my life, I didn't want to feel any emotions. And music helped me break through that, you know, to the point where I wanted to feel the emotions of those songs. Pet peeves and things that drive you nuts. um, but you know, when Adam Reeder, the professor of rock, was talking about quitting, it was because he was getting tired of all the copyright claims on the music that he was promoting. And I was like, I chimed into him. I was like, claims are really nothing more than somebody trying to take the money from you. If the music is really, like, my opinion, and it's always been this way since I started doing the reaction style channel. My opinion was, if I'm really that um, empowered by the music, it doesn't matter if I make money on it. I want to help somebody else feel that empowerment, or feel that emotion, or feel that connection. That music is a connection that binds us all. It's the glue that holds society together, really. Um, it helps us feel. It helps us feel as one. And when Adam Reeder was talking about quitting, I was like, he quits, that's going to be a dark day in the music industry. Like, he has done so much to promote the talents and the music of the past, and bring the information forward, that having not having his channel around would make the music industry dark, make the music industry feel unfeeling. When people have arrogance to stay willful ignorance, when people have ignorance or stay well for ignorance regarding politics and history. Oh yeah. Yeah, like when people are like, I can understand people that didn't study a certain branch of history. Personally, I'm not a historian. Um, Everything that I've talked about in my videos, I've always just recently researched. So, you know, in one way, I'm kind of not congruent with history, but if I see something that I feel like, yeah, that could have been handled in the past, let's see, I'll check it out. I'll check things up to see if they've been a problem in the history. Um, but people who, willful ignorance regarding history, you know, oh yeah, people have no disregard for somebody else's rest. Like, yeah, you want to see me wake up in a bad mood? If I'm peacefully sleeping, unless I've got someplace that I've definitely got to go, let me sleep. I don't get much sleep as it is. If I'm sleeping, let me sleep. Otherwise, I'll probably wind up being a bear. And it'd be pretty hard to live with that bear. But I can't stand being late. Like, if somebody's waking me up because I got to be somebody or see somewhere, oh geez, But if I got to be somewhere and somebody's waking me up to make sure that I'm going to be there, thank you. Be like, oh, thanks a lot, man. I almost overslept. And then I get my butt ready. Off I take. But if I got nothing going on that next day and I'm sleeping and somebody's waking me up, oh, hell no. Like when I lived at my parents' place a long time ago, my mom had a craft room underneath my bedroom. And I would work midnights. And during the daytime, she would be down there working on the freaking jigsaw. Or not jigsaw, but the skill saw. And all I'd hear all day long is while I'm trying to sleep, right underneath my bed, I'd hear this. Didn't hardly get any sleep. No concept of health benefit. Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard thing to deal with, having somebody constantly take away your time of healing. Because when you're sleeping, when you're actually sleeping, like really REM sleeping, your body is repairing itself slowly. And the older we get, the slower it gets. But your body is slowly repairing itself. And somebody interrupting that sleep, oh, no wonder why we're all, like friggin' dragging our butts when we're in our elderly ages. Yeah, yeah. The amount of AI enabled scam ads on YouTube, anywhere really, they do absolutely nothing about it. Yet they will take down channels for minor infringements. Yeah, like seriously, these ads, and you could tell the ad is AI generated just by watching the mouth and listening to the words. You see the mouth moving like this, and there's the words aren't matching up with what's being said. It's like, nope, pass, pass, pass. It all started with those Elon Musk, get rich quick scheme ads. They were all over YouTube for the longest time, and then there was those ads that were talking about health and stuff like that. I'm sorry if anybody's got a channel that I've skipped those ads to, but I don't see a point in watching something that I don't believe in. Like when it comes to those AI generated ads, no, I'm gone. I don't want those companies to make money just because I want to help a creator. Like that's kind of defeating the purpose. But yeah, the AI scam ads, like, and what really freaking drives me nuts? I lose my patience on this one. You call up a government agency and you get an automated teller or automated answer. And they give you so many choices and so many choices. And then as you're going through all the maze of the menus, you finally get to the last menu that the robot can help you with, and then it freaking hangs up on you. Now I got to go through all that horse shit again just to get back to the same spot. And then all of a sudden, when you actually do get to talk to somebody, they wonder why you're in such an angry, why you're such upset mode. It's because your damn AI wouldn't let me talk to you 4 hours ago. Like it's just nuts. And it seems like businesses are opting to go with the AI route all the way through, even on the internet. Like you can't talk to somebody, a real somebody, until you've exhausted the extensive library of stupid information that is not relevant to what you're looking for from the AI generated response bot. It's like, ugh. Then they wonder why you're so upset. Really? Because I've had to freaking deal with your AI bot. Yeah, but yeah, getting back to the Adam Reeder thing. I hope he can. I hope he finds the love and support through his community. I know he said he felt the love and support, immediately from seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of messages come in on that video that he created. Giving him, the emotional support and some ideas on how to deal with it. And then all of a sudden, people from other communities in the same genre coming in and saying, "Hey, dude, you need a hand? Let me know. I'm there for you." And the whole community just came in together. And that's kind of what makes pet peeves kind of feel like a pet peeve about those big companies taking advantage of the small guy, trying to make a little bit of money for themselves. It kind of makes you think that, having these communities come together kind of, makes that pet peeve of the big companies taking advantage of the little guy feel so much less, because now all of a sudden you don't feel alone again. You don't feel alone anymore. And on this platform, with all the communities that we're building, with like Professor of Rock channel, my channel, and other creators in this space, we're all building these communities, basically showing these record executives, hey, we're willing to listen to the music. Just help these people out that are trying to promote your music. That's all we're asking. A little bit of fairness. But yeah, I deal with the copyright claims all the time, and I just put in my disputes and see if I win them. If I win them, I win them. If I don't, I don't. As long as the video can be seen by, or be presented to the public, I'm just as happy, because I still get watch hours out of it. They can't take my watch hours away if the video can be watched. All they can take is a few cents at the beginning and the end. Go for it. I don't put any ads in the middle of my recorded videos, mainly because I don't want the ads to interrupt you guys finding out something interesting or something meaningful. Uh, like if there's a video that I'm putting out that you want to really, you're really getting into, and you want to hear the juicy pieces, I don't want you to have to wait for 3 hours of uh, commercials to find out that piece of information. I want the video to flow out, and then see the videos, or see the ads at the beginning, see the ads at the end. Thank you very much. My day and my job is done. You two are the worst for going after the small guy. Oh, Bono is. It's all because of Bono. Normally, it's because of the record execs. Hey, Lucy, how are you doing? How's things going in Lucy Warren's world? But a lot of it's because um, when a record company like UMG, say for example, or SME, they'll put out, like when I put out a video, they'll put out the copyright claim, and then I'll do my dispute, and then 30 days later it'll get released. And then 6 or 8 months down the road, all of a sudden that exec who was on that copyright claim board, he retires or quits or gets promoted or whatever, or moves on to a different job. All of a sudden they get somebody new in there, and they hit the button again, and I got to re-dispute my claim again. And then over and over and over and over and over again, where YouTube isn't stepping in the way of these people, and that drives me nuts, because it's just them letting that bigger company take advantage of the little guy. And I thought YouTube was supposed to be here to protect and help the creators, not let some other company come in and take advantage of you. Like, and it's also been found out that it's not just record companies trying to take the money from the creators. It's actually scammers trying to claim that they own the copyright to those videos, even though they don't have to have proof that they own the copyright. They just got to say, I claim it. And then it gets claimed. And then when you dispute it, they let it ride for 30 days because they don't want to, when they take it to the next level, they don't want to have to give up their address, their detailed information. So, that's one of the things that drives me. It's just, they make it so easy for people to take advantage of other people, and then when you make a comment about it, all of a sudden it's like you're the bad guy. It's like, wait a minute, I'm the one who's getting attacked here. So, yeah, I noticed some artists. I have a hard time getting the copyrights through, and other artists shock me, absolutely shock me, that they don't put any claims, or the claims get released right away. Like Miley Cyrus video on the 4th of July. That was actually, I put in that dispute, and then 2 days later it came back released, and I was like, really? Miley Cyrus video, that particular song that made hundreds of millions of people around the world sing along to, that got released in a couple of days, and I'm waiting for a song that very few people would have known. I'm waiting for that to get released so I can actually show it. Like, really? It's just it's just the juggling act of all the BS that goes with having a channel like this. That's why I also like to do live stream once in a while, like once a week, to interact with the audience and get their perspectives, and see what's going on, and talk about something totally different. And now for something totally different. Actually, I should start my live streams with that. I think I will. I think that'd be fun. Can you imagine that? Ladies, gentlemen, program, pronouns, and now for something different. But yeah, it's just some of the things that just drive me nuts. Why people do what they do? Like, some people, they just walk around with a really shitty attitude, and it's like, why do you want to walk around with a piss poor attitude like that? All you're doing is just showing everybody who you really are. When you're out in public and you got a mean look on your face, and you're like bossing everybody around, you're just showing everybody who you really are and why we shouldn't deal with you. Like, drama queens, SJWs. Like when the SJWs started freaking going off about all the stupidity that they went off with, like SJWs, social justice warriors, but I just call them stupid jerks and weirdos. When they went off about the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, I was like, really, seriously? You're gonna tell me that watching a movie is gonna make me become a serial killer? Are you serious? Is that what it's all about? Like, I watched the movie Noah with Russell Crowe, and I still have no inclination or desire to want to build a boat and invite 2 of every animal to come take a ride around the world with me. No. Watching a movie has nothing to do with what my personality is going to be like in real life. Privacy laws become a nightmare with AI, cousin works in privacy regulatory compliance. Oh, wow. Yeah. The thing about Oh, there was a company, CapCut. If you're using CapCut to edit your video, stop. Because using CapCut allows CapCut to use your content, your image, for whatever reason they want. It's in the terms of service. It's in their TOS, their updated TOS. I found that out through this other channel called Men Need to Be Heard. And he was using CapCut until he read the fine print on the terms of service, talked to a lawyer and said, yeah, stop using it. So, if you're using CapCut, cut it out. Because any videos that you upload to use or to edit with their software, they can actually use that footage, use your image, and do whatever they want with it, publish it, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it, because using their software gives them sole right to your image, your likeness, your content, everything. So protect yourself and dump that program. But yeah, that's what I found out through Men Need to Be Heard. Dan on that channel, he was using it, and he's like, not anymore. Personally, I use Shotcut, and Shotcut hasn't changed their terms of service in years. So, and their terms of service are easy. Download our program, use it on your computer to do whatever you want to do, and then upload it to whatever platform you want to upload it to. Basically, just upload it as a file to upload to that platform. And they do all the conversions on your computer. All the conversions work on your computer, and then you just upload it directly to, like I just uploaded directly to YouTube, and that's how it gets taken care of. Read that about John Deere recently. Lots of farmers in here pretty ticked off by the terms of service. A lot of people just say, I haven't got time to read the terms of service. I got a field to plow. So they just check it off. A lot of the times you should be reading them terms of service. Terms of service will tell you how protected you are for using the tools, the programs, and the equipment of another company. Like, you'll notice in my next bunch of videos that I've recorded, there's not going to be any splashes up in the top screen anymore, because realistically, I haven't really seen any change in my account with them. I don't see any profits from the Firmu affiliate link. So, I'm not going to continue working for something for nothing. I'll see if I can find, maybe I'll do a community post, what kind of products you guys are, interested in, aside from makeup. I'm not doing makeup. I'll test out some products or whatever like that on the Patreon channel, and then maybe, put it on as merch on in the description box. We'll find something. Fun fact. I was next door. I talked to my neighbor next door, the guy who owns the house next door. Short little story before I go. I talked to the neighbor next door about playing with my drone in his backyard. He's got a huge backyard. Then he goes, I didn't even get the question all the way out. I said, I bought a drone. And he goes, yeah, go ahead, play it in the backyard. I don't care. Knock yourself out. I was like, okay, cool. He says, by the way, you get used to driving that. You get used to flying that thing. I might have some work for you. I was like, cool. So I picked a day. The wind was light. It was not, it wasn't still. There was a little bit of a cross breeze, not heavy. Went out there and it was blowing my drone all over the place. And I was like, well, looks like that's too much wind. And I haven't found a day where we haven't had really a whole lot of wind, like, a mild amount of wind to go out and play with it, where it hadn't been raining. So I'm still working on the drone thing. But man, I tell you, it's fun trying to keep that thing, flying and whatever like that. But as soon as the wind picked up, it just took that thing and threw it like a baseball. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get heading out. It's been like 3/4 of an hour. So I just want to take this time to say thank you all for coming in, chiming in, engaging in the conversation. I really appreciate that. If you're looking to help support the channel, the Patreon link is right there, scrolling across the screen. And until we get to the next one, my friends, I wish you all peace, love, and happiness.